It's your boy Bulletz. Gotti be back with another one. So, this video right here, we're going to be discussing Suge Knight, new claims about the whole, situation with him, Gotti, J Prince, and the meeting, right? And who called the feds. Now, I rock with Suge. Suge's my guy. Don't get it twisted. Suge's my guy. But Suge got it all wrong. Griff had it wrong, and Gene had it wrong. And I'm going to explain to you why they got it wrong. So, I'm going to get into Push Past the Bummer Clot. In 2002, Suge Knight, J Prince, Gotti, was going to do a situation where it was going to be dealing with the unions in hip-hop and a kind of a distribution company, right? Now, Griff said Dame was involved. Dame actually was not at that meeting. He was not involved. Who was there at that meeting? We're going to get into who was there. Was Jay-Z, Steve Stout, Irv Gotti, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the Missio Man's Frank Nitty was there. I think Chaz was also there. Big D was there. Eric B was there. Who else? Big Joe. I think Big Joe also was at that meeting. And J Prince, Suge Knight, they also was there, right? This meeting happened in Star Island, right? They had one meeting in Houston, Texas, which you see a picture with Preem and Jay-Z, right? Then they had another meeting, which was in Star Island, Miami. Now, both meetings, the word got back to the big dogs at the labels, the execs. So, the people like the Doug Morris and those guys got the rundown on everything that happened at that meeting. And then what happened was the phone call was made to the feds, to the IRS, and basically also was made to not only the IRS or the feds, but it also was made to the DEA. They all got involved. Now, J Prince, who did an interview with Beehive, he basically exposed a little bit of who went and told those people. Now, we know that it was alleged that, HOV was the one that tipped the people off. He tipped the people off. That was what was alleged at the time, right? That was alleged at the time, that he tipped the people off. Him and Steve Stout, allegedly tipped the powers that be off. Let the people know at the labels, the big time execs, at the time, all of them, they let them know what happened, what was going on in that meeting. But the meeting was basically to get rappers a union and to get their own distribution company, right? Now, Suge, Gene, Professor Griff keep saying Puff name. Puff was not involved in that meeting, okay? He was never involved in that meeting. He was never at none of the meetings that they had. They had two meetings. They had one in Star Island in Miami, right? And they had another one in Houston, Texas. Like I said, there's a picture you see Preem with Jay-Z that was at one of the meetings, right? That was in Houston. Then they had the other meeting, which was in Star Island, where Steve Stout was at that meeting. I think Steve Stout was even also at the meeting in Houston. Steve Stout was at both meetings. Jay was only at one. Jay was at the one that was in Houston. And that was the one that Jay Prince talked about, where somebody went back and told them big dogs at the labels. And the big dogs at the labels basically started investigating. So you see Suge, he got a case. The feds, the police was investigating, the IRS was investigating him. Gotti got a case also. He was investigated by the feds. And Jay Prince got a case. He was also investigated. And this was all during the height of, the whole situation that was going on at the time, where the beef with Eminem and all that other stuff that was going on. But what people not realizing is this, right? When people say, yo, and I get it. People want to blame Puff, and I understand Suge have his differences with Puff. But Puff didn't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have nothing to do with that. What happened with Puff is, what happened with Puff. But Puff didn't have anything to do with that. Just like when people blame Puff for the Keefe D, Puff ain't have nothing to do with that. Keefe D had nothing to do with the murder of Tupac, same as Orlando Anderson. The murder of Tupac was done by Kevin Gaines, the cop that got killed by Frank Lager. If you know who Frank Lager was the one that murdered Kevin Gaines, who was a corrupt cop who basically did house cleaning. Because it was basically house cleaning. They had to, Kevin Gaines became a liability. But they all exposed themselves. If you watch Tupac cover up, they speak about that. And it's the same thing with this whole thing with, the whole record label, the whole situation that happened with the distribution in the union. The feds and all of them didn't want that. They didn't want, or especially the label, the guys like Doug Morris and all of them, they didn't want to see these dudes, become successful and have a union and a distribution company. Because you got to understand, Morris comes from the Alan Kleins, the Morris Levy class of the music industry, right? He comes from that. That's his ilk. He comes from those type of individuals, right? So when you look back at what happened at that time, it was dudes. They had to get dudes out the way. They had to get dudes out the way. It was big things that was going to happen with Suge and all of them coming together. And everybody wanted to blame, people want to blame, like Griff was the first one saying, oh, Puff, 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 and then Gene and then Suge. And I'm saying to myself, hold on, bro. And then I got the word, and, close associate of mine was like, nah, they got it wrong. That's not who put the word in. And then they sent me the interview with Jay Prince, and Jay Prince literally exposed who did that. Is the man that is the biggest gatekeeper in hip hop right now. That y'all call that dude HOV. He's the biggest gatekeeper in hip hop, and he was the one that sent them people at them. Because he went back and told, the big dogs. He told the people at the labels. He told them. And what they did was they came and they basically shut down the situation. You know what I'm saying? And it was other people that was going to get involved. I think DNY was also there and was going to get involved in that. So it was a lot of people getting involved in this situation that Suge, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti was doing. But like I said, old boy that has the hand in the whole industry. Because look, Jay replaced Clarence Avant, right? Dr. Dre replaced Quincy Jones, right? Steve Stout replaced Russell Simmons, right? If you look at all three of these men, they are in the position that they're in because of the deeds they did for the big dogs. And what Stout did, and what Jay did, and even what Dre did, is the reason why a lot of these brothers that was in the game is not in the game no more. So what happened to Irv and what happened to Suge and Jay Prince was that they was getting too big for their bridges. And they was at the meeting, like I said, they was at the meeting. Stout was at the meeting at Star Island. You know, Steve Stout is responsible for the destruction of Source Magazine. You know, Benzino said it in my interview. He said, yo, the one that ruined the Source was Steve Stout. He said, yo, we had a well-oiled machine, but he got in Dave's ear and was telling him about, let's do, Source.com, and Source.com destroyed the company. And like he said, Stout was responsible for that happening. And Stout was responsible for a lot of things. And you look at a Steve Stout and you look at a HOV, you just look at these dudes, they energy vampires. Dr. Dre, why you think all three of them is linked together? But that's why I say, yo, Suge. And, if I had a conversation with Suge, I tell Suge, yo, Suge, you got it wrong, homie. The wrong dude, you putting it on. Puff ain't had nothing to do with that. Puff wasn't responsible for them people coming in there. It's the dudes that's the powers that be in the industry right now. The Jays, the Stouts, and the Dre's is the reason why that happened. They went to the big dogs and told them about that meeting. And they shut y'all down. Jay and Stout, they shut y'all down. And then Dre did the sucker things he did, So this is why I say that, people gotta peep game and see what's really going on in the industry and look who's really like doing what. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look, Puff is in jail right now. You see, they never gave dude no power in the industry. You know why? Because they couldn't trust Puff. In their mind, they felt he was a liability. He started talking. He talked reckless. He get high. They didn't want nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? They could never trust him. You heard what Puff said, my nigga, on Clarence Avant documentary. I'm a changed man now. But it was Clarence Avant that was really, holding son down, and protecting him. And once he passed away, the homie, the protection was like, it was gone because basically, that's the dude that was really, he was loyal to Puff all the way across the board. And them dudes, the powers that be, they had to get him out the way. And then after they get him out the way, they had to get Son and put him in jail. But it's the same thing they did to Suge. You saw how they did to Suge. Suge wasn't supposed to make it out of that video shoot. He was supposed to die straight out of Compton shoot. What saved him was, him jumping in his car. But the messed up part about it is, his man's died. So that's why I said, man, Suge, Puff, these are two men that were brilliant, man. Brilliant young black men that came in the industry and did what it did. And the people, they want to see these brothers be great. You got to remember, Suge did an interview with Arsenio Hall, and I hope people go watch that interview that he did with Arsenio Hall, where he exposed, basically broke down what was going on at Universal and Interscope and all that. He broke it down. Puff did an interview with Charlamagne talking about a black party And then he did the joint with Earn Your Leisure. Look at the problems he in. He now in jail. You know, Suge did that joint with Arsenio Hall like 2014. And then look what happened to him. He goes to jail for 28 years. Somebody try to assassinate him. He ain't try to assassinate or hurt anybody. They try to kill him at a video shoot. You know, but that just goes to show you, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel for Suge and Puff. I think both of them brothers should be free, you know, but you got to understand, these people don't want them out. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, they placing blame on these brothers. You know, they out here placing blame saying Suge killed Biggie. They placing blame on Puff saying Puff killed Pac. But they know good and damn well that the LAPD killed both of them. And even Suge said it in his last interview. If you listen, he said the LAPD was the one that murdered Pac. And he said it. Kevin Gaines was the one that knocked him off. Everybody know that. If you go listen and go watch the videos that RJ Barnes did, and you go listen to the conversation that Sharita had with Reggie, you hear Gaines' name getting brought up and him being right way security. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. Salute, y'all. Y'all have a good one.